Hey there everybody, welcome back to our video series of how to build responsive designs using Figma. Alright, so I hope you've already taken a look at our previous two videos, and hopefully by now you have an idea of what responsive design means, what it stands for, and some of the things that Figma can help you achieve from a UX and UI perspective. So, before we begin our video session today, please do remember to hit the red subscribe button and stay tuned to our upcoming videos, which will hopefully give you further insight and help you achieve the best-in-class experiences and skills in leveraging Figma and build responsive interfaces. Alrighty, let us begin. Today we are going to take a look at the Figma interface first, and after which we will proceed on to building a frame for a landing page into which we will incorporate content, starting with images and text, which will eventually lead us into completing a landing page design. Of course, we will start by building a non-responsive web page, just so you can gradually get a hang of how you can leverage Figma, easily get acquainted with the tools and techniques. And following that, we will slowly glide into the world of building responsive designs. So let's get started with the basic Figma interface. So let's get started. This is what the basic interface of Figma looks like. And this is what you basically see when you already have some designs or wireframes created on the Figma file. So for your convenience, I'm going to show you how you can open up a new file and basically start from scratch and continue to build from there. So, looking at the interface here, if you take your cursor to the very top of your screen and click on this little plus sign here, which will essentially enable you to add a new Figma file. Let's click on this, and these are the two options that you basically have pop up. You can either create a new design file, or you can create a new FigJam file. So FigJam is basically for us who wish to collaborate with other users and other stakeholders using Figma files. So we'll come to that later, but for now, let's start with a new design file. Okay, now we have a new design file open. I basically like this black interface for some reason, so let's continue to do that. But of course, if you do want to change the background here from dark to a lighter tone, you can just take your cursor here to the right, the navigation bar, and just click on this little color swatch here, which will help you to change the background as you see fit. Okay, let's keep it a little light here. Let's say we select this color tone. All right. Now, as I mentioned before, we are going to start by creating a frame. So creating a frame is relatively easy and straightforward. You just go to the top menu here, and where you see different options here, that's the main menu. This is your moving tool, and this is frame, and here you can create different shapes. So in order for us to build a website or start for a basic frame, we can definitely start here if you want to select the basic layout of a website, which is either rectangular or square, however you want to visualize your device on which you're viewing the user interface. So we can either select a rectangle and create it here. You can also create the rectangle by pressing R on your keyboard, and there we go. But in order for you to create a frame out of this rectangle, you would have to right click on the shape and then select frame selection right here. Now you have a basic frame. But if you try to drag this frame like this, that is what happens. So the shape itself is not moving, which technically means that there are a couple of more steps you would have to take in order for you to be able to move the shape or make it responsive. Another way to do this, let's delete this frame here, and if you go on top and select frame here, the moment you click on frame, you'll see on the right hand side that you have a lot of different options pop up. So each of these options represents a specific device or a template on which you can build your user interface. So let's say we are going to select MacBook Pro 16-inch screen. And if you click on that, there we go. Now you have your MacBook Pro 16-inch screen. This is a screen which you can technically modify as you see fit. You can drag in different directions and it will change shape. And if you want to go back to your original shape, or if you want to change it even, just go to the frame on the right, click the drop down. You can either select MacBook Air, that's your basic MacBook Air screen size. If you select MacBook Pro 14-inch, that's the screen size. And if you select desktop, that's your basic desktop screen size. Okay, so let's start with the design for a MacBook Pro 16-inch screen. So what are the basic components of a landing page when you look at it? So we can assume that we are going to have a logo and a navigation bar at the very top, followed by a banner of some sort with an image in the middle with some sort of text that represents your website or your business, which will be followed by some additional audiovisual components and text to describe your site. Now, where do we find a logo and how do we add the text? So let's go here to the main menu, then we go to File, and then we go to Place Image. And we are going to go to the desktop and bring this here, which will be basically our logo. We are going to hold Shift and drag it all the way to a more plausible size here. There we go. That kind of looks like okay. Right, so now when we drag it inside the frame, you'll see that the frame turns blue, which means that your logo is now inside the frame. But if you did not see that happen, well, that would mean that your logo will not move along with the frame. But now, if you click on the MacBook Pro 16-inch text here, that means you've selected your frame, and now when you move it around, your logo will be moving around with it, which means it's already part of your design. Now we can start adding some text to it, and by text I mean the global navigation bar, and we can do that by going to the top menu here and clicking on the T, which is the text. And now we can add the text right here. Let's say we write about, we can duplicate that, and then we can write services. We can duplicate that once again for projects. Right, now that we have some basic navigation components, we can just drag each of them into an alignment like this. And there we have it, our basic navigation design.